Hi, everybody, and welcome to Talk It Out, Conversations for College Men's Mental Well-Being. This is an ongoing series where we interview staff, faculty, students around mental health concerns, emotional well-being, and really just how to thrive in the college environment. We want to highlight lots of different voices here. My name is Christopher Sperling. I'm the host of this series. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a health educator here at UCSD Health Promotion Services as part of the Student Health and Wellbeing Cluster here at UCSD. I'm joined by an amazing student that we have, Jonah, and I'll let Jonah introduce himself as well.
Yeah, thank you, Christopher, for having me today. So my name is Jonah. I am a fourth year cognitive science major here at UCSD. I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm very passionate about mental health and well-being, and I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome. I couldn't be more excited to have you. So you describe how mental health is important to you. I'd love to know a little bit about why mental health is important to you and what about mental health really interests you.
Yeah, so growing up, I struggled with good mental health. I had my own issues that I was dealing with growing up in middle school and high school, and I think that my own mental health got in the way of my potential to thrive in school and my potential to thrive in relationships and friendships and even relationships with my family members. I think that my behaviors and my decisions had negative consequences that um, ended up impacting me negatively. And I think that I could have made better decisions earlier on in life. And if I had, then I might have had some different outcomes that I sometimes regret. So yeah, I'm just passionate about using my own experiences to give back to other people and sort of help others not make the same mistakes that I have in the past.
Gotcha. And I think that's a really good way to be involved, to do things like this, but also I know you're involved in lots of other things as well. So it's great to see sort of that ability to give back and the ability to be open to share and to help others as well. I think that's a really noble thing to do. And especially for college men, that's really the reason behind this whole series is there's a lot of stigma around mental health. There's a lot of thinking, oh, mental health, if we even talk about it, it means something is deeply wrong or there's something going on that is a problem. But we also just need to thrive better. And we also need to take care of our mental health in lots of different ways. So on that same note, what is one thing that maybe you wish that college men knew about mental health?
One thing I wish college men knew about mental health, I would encourage college men to reflect on how they use their technology. I don't think people and college men specifically realize how much of an impact that social media specifically can have on men's mental health. I think most of the time when you think about negative consequences of mental health or negative consequences of social media usage, you might think specifically around teenage girls having those issues more than men. And I think that it's a topic that's not spoken about enough. I think that men struggle with their own social media usage and how they use technology just as much, if not more, than women. I know there was a recent Cigna Health study released in 2020 that noted that men, specifically ages 18 to 22, are actually lonelier than women. And our generation, people ages 18 to 22, are actually the loneliest generation alive. And unironically, we're also the same generation that uses social media the most. And I think there's an obvious correlation there. I think that overconsumption of social media usage can prevent college men specifically from being present in their everyday lives. And I think that it's an easy outlet for a lot of people that may be struggling with certain mental health issues. And it's an easy outlet that can serve as a band-aid and sort of prevent you from working through those issues. So if you may think that you have a problem with how much time you spend on social media, I would encourage college men to really reflect on how they use their time, especially on social media and on their phones, and just really realize, like, is all of that time you're spending on your phone worth it? Or could you be spending that time working towards building better relationships with people in person or working towards your goals? rather than being distracted and sort of immersed in this digital world that really brings you no positive benefits, really.
I think that's really good advice because, especially over the past couple of years, technology became life for so many people. Everything went remote, everything was on your phone, everything had all these new apps associated with them. And also, these social media companies and like other websites, like really kind of everything, their whole premise is to get you on them more and
Right.
to make you want to be on them. And so, especially like you're saying, if there's a bit of loneliness or a bit of feeling that you need connection with others in any sort of form, that's what they're giving you. It's literally built for that. And it takes a lot to be reflective enough to know that this may not be an evil technology, but how do we use it responsibly? How do we still maintain our mental health, our emotional health, and our stability moving forward through using those? So I love that advice. Thank you so much. So all that being said, do you have any sort of advice for students who may have issues with technology or may feel like they use technology a little too much, or something that they maybe even just are questioning their technology use? What sort of advice would you give for those students?
Yeah, thinking back on my own experiences with technology and social media, I actually started using social media in third grade. So I first made a Facebook account in third grade, and that supplemented as a place where I tried to create connections that served as sort of a replacement for my in-person connections. I was pretty introverted growing up, and it was really easy to have those online connections. And I think that that can lead to a place of loneliness. And specifically in middle school, I remember using social media as sort of an outlet to get the connection that I was craving. And I was craving these constant friendships. I wanted to be connected to people. I wanted to know people better. But in all honesty, social media and the relationships that you build online cannot supplement the relationships that you can build in person. I think that there needs to be a massive reformation in how we define friendship. And I think that our definition of friendship has been completely disrupted by social media. I think we need to take a step back and realize how we invest time into relationships and how we care for other people and how that time is reciprocated. So getting back to your question, advice to other people struggling with social media use or their possible addiction to technology, I would say that there are certain resources out there. There's the Center for Humane Technology, which offers certain resources and advice and tips for you to take control of your own social media usage. So for example, their action plan, their first steps are to get rid of notifications on your phone, to turn off notifications for social medias. And if you can, if you have the willpower, to delete those social medias off of your phone altogether, because it's that super easy access to social media that allows us to pull out our phones and scroll endlessly for hours, or in the middle of a social setting, pull out our phones and get on social media to distract ourselves from the present moment. So I think getting rid of those apps on your smartphone would be a great place to start. And I know for me that worked really well. Just being able to access my social medias on the internet, like when I'm at home alone, and I set aside certain time to spend on social media. So that's a really beneficial first step, I think. One piece of advice that I would give to college men is to possibly take some time away from social media altogether, maybe spend a few days off of social media to allow your dopamine reward system in your brain to reset itself and balance itself out, because social media usage and the constant gratification that we get from scrolling through social medias can easily throw off our dopamine balance in our brain. And I think taking the time to step away from that and allow that reward system to balance itself out could be really beneficial. And you might see some mental health benefits from doing that.
But it's all really great advice. And I think that people need to have a mindful use of these technologies, right? There's a difference between mindful use of something and mindless use of something. And it all depends on our engagement level and how aware we are of our own selves while using those technologies. So I love the idea of taking a short break as well. So switching gears a little bit into things that might have helped you kind of through this struggle for yourself. So what UCSD resources have sort of supported you, outside UCSD resources might have supported you, and just how would you suggest that others get involved with these similar sorts of resources?
Yeah, first of all, I would suggest that if you are struggling with mental health issues, that you reach out to a therapist or counselor through CAPS. CAPS has been really beneficial to me throughout my time at UCSD. I've reached out multiple times and had really productive conversations with psychiatrists and sports psychiatrists about just issues that I've been dealing with and sort of trying to balance my own mental health, trying to balance academics, athletics, and extracurriculars. So having those conversations can really help you figure out which areas of your life you need to find more balance in. And I would also suggest that reaching out to student health and well-being and the resources that we have here, it can be really beneficial as well. Like you yourself, Christopher, and Morgan have been really beneficial to me. Learning from you guys and just learning simple tips has been great. So I would suggest reaching out to either of those resources. And there's also the iFlourish program through Student Health and Wellbeing, I believe. And as for technology use, again, I would suggest that you check out the Center for Humane Technology if you really want to take control of how you spend time on social media. They provide really great resources about how you can do that and how your mental health can really change overall.
I think those are all really great resources, and I love that you brought up CAPS as well. They actually have a whole set of online self-led resources as well. So if technology is your thing, there's Headspace available for students for free. You sign up through the CAPS website and you can access that. There's a whole other program called TAO, Therapy Assistance Online, which has really, really good activities and resources and videos and those sorts of things for students as well. And that's something that the university has purchased for students to have for free as well. So definitely check out these things that are available online on these websites, as well as other trusted areas on the web as well, because there are resources out there for you, and we want to help, but you have to find the resources that work right for you. So I think it's a really, really good advice that you have there.
Thank you.
And then sort of the last question here is, do you have any other thoughts, anything else that you'd like students, other people who are watching these videos to know?
I think it's really important to reflect on your own behavior and realize that your actions have consequences. I think that's something I didn't realize earlier on in my life, and I wanted to blame my own struggles with mental health on other people, or on the fact that my mental health, like my problems I was having within my own brain, were things I couldn't change. But it really took me taking a step back and changing my perception on what mental health is, to understand that a lot of the reason that I was struggling with my own mental health was due to my lack of sleep, was due to certain behaviors that prohibited me from flourishing. And I think if there are habits you want to change in your life, then yes, change is difficult, but those changes can lead to an entirely new headspace. And I believe that those changes are worth making if you really believe that those things are worth changing in your life, and they are for the better. So I would encourage you to keep moving forward and strive to be the best version of yourself. And that's the best advice I can give.
I think that's perfect advice. The stuff that we talk to students all the time about is change is hard. Change is good, but change is hard. And it's gonna have roadblocks along the way, and you gotta keep pushing through, and you can do it. You really, truly can. And services like the ones you mentioned, as well as CAPS, like all those things, they give you tools in your tool belt to help figure out these problems as they arise, to help this process of change. So I couldn't thank you more for joining us today. This is such a good talk that you've given. And I really hope to see you around more. And I really hope that people watching this video are able to learn a lot from your experience, from another student, as well as all these resources that you provided as well. So I'm so thankful that you could join us today. And for everyone else listening out there, check out our other videos. We have lots of really great videos in this series for you, and we look forward to seeing you in our next Talk It Out video. That being said, have a great day, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.